Arrest warrant preparation. This is a generalized informational PowerPoint on preparing an arrest warrant application to be submitted to the courts for review by a prosecutor and then signed by a judge. In an arrest warrant application, you have to understand that you may have to resubmit it several times to overcome some of the issues that the prosecutor has picked out in your arrest warrant application. Or possibly a judge will pick something out and send it back to the prosecutor, who will then send it back to you. So this slide is kind of a humorous look on you've begged and you've prayed to get your arrest warrant application through. You have to understand, police officers in the state of Connecticut do not write arrest warrants, they write arrest warrant applications. And again, this slide is from the creator where it's the stress reduction kit for applying for an arrest warrant application to have it signed into an arrest warrant. So take these notes as you will. There are three parts of a criminal application for an arrest warrant. There is the information sheet or the top sheet. There is the arrest warrant information, and then there's the affidavit from you, the investigating officer. The information advises parties of the name of the accused, the number and description of the charges to include the date, time, and location that the alleged incident occurred at, and it allows court personnel to make notations. So the information includes the police case number, which will be different from department to department, the agency name, which will be your agency, or in this case, we're going to go with Goodwin University Police Department, State of Connecticut versus the accused, so we'll call that person John Smith, the date of birth of the accused, and where it's going to be held at, and that's going to be a geographical area or a judicial district, a GA or a JD. When I worked in Norwich, it was GA 21, and that's what we would put on there, to be held at GA 21. Case number here, it says leave blank. That's actually not true, that you would put the police case number on there. And if it did get a different case number from the court system, like a docket number, they would put that in there as well. Your department, name of the accused. And this is a good point. Did you verify the date of birth of the accused, and how did you do that? Did you do that with the criminal history from Connecticut, the person's driver's license? What did you do to verify this person's date of birth? And like I said, it's the town of the housing court, so Norwich would be GA 21. Housing courts may not have a GA number, they may have a JD number. And that's pretty much it for the information. Court date. You will leave that blank because that has to be assigned when the arrest warrant is served on the person. So leave the court date blank. So on the form, you have count 1 for the offense, where it occurred, and on or about for when it happened. In violation of the Connecticut General Statutes, as a police officer, most of the statutes that you will be dealing with are the Title 14 statutes, which is motor vehicle, Title 53A, which is criminal law, and 53 as well. You might deal with some 29 statutes, Title 29 statutes for insurance, and there's some other off statutes that you might deal with. Like 29 $295. Subsequent counts for charges are always filled in the same way, and there is a continuation sheet for that if necessary. Remaining sections are left blank, but make sure in the first block for the section for the next charge you place N/A for not applicable. The reverse side of the information sheet is the arrest warrant, and it authorized any proper officer of the state of Connecticut to arrest the body of the accused. And you complete only your name from your agency, Goodwin University Police Department, and the name of the accused, John Smith. The application for the arrest warrant is basically your narrative of what happened to build probable cause to arrest the accused for the charges that you have set forth. And it's either the affidavit below or the affidavit attached, or both blocks get checked. Do not cut and paste your police report to do that. You might do that, but you're going to have to move some narrative stuff around, and there may be some very formal paragraphs that you have to start with. The check boxes should be marked, especially when there are pages you want the judge to include in the finding of probable cause. And you are directing the reader to look beyond the four corners of the warrant. So beyond the warrant to the affidavit pages. And when the reviewing prosecutor looks at it, they will fill out the date, signed it saying that there's probable cause, and they will type and print the name of the prosecuting authority. Or sometimes you'll just get a very bad signature. And then it will be moved on to the judge. The affidavit is the narrative portion of the arrest warrant application which establishes probable cause. Probable cause is the reason to believe that an offense has been committed and that an accused has committed it. The undersigned affiant, being duly sworn, deposes and says, the first paragraph might be a little different, depending on each geographical district. You are the affiant. You are the author of the narrative of the warrant because you are the investigating officer. You must swear to the content and accuracy of the information contained in the body of the warrant. And this is important to talk about because we also talk about exculpatory evidence. You have to include that in the arrest warrant application as well, and you have to make sure that all the information is true. One of the most important things as an investigating officer is not to lie. You can solve every crime there is, but the first time you're impeached for lying, you lose all credibility and the ability to be an investigating officer. The first paragraph has your credentials. I, Officer Janet Jones, am a police officer with the Goodwin University Police Department and have been employed by this agency for 5 years. Prior to working for the Goodwin University Police Department, I was employed by the Cranston, Rhode Island Police Department for 6 years. So you put your credentials and a little bit of your training and experience there. The second paragraph is the basis of knowledge. The facts and circumstances reporting in this affidavit are the result of personal knowledge and observations by this affiant and additional representatives of this department if it comes out. So if you and your partner are working on stuff, make sure you put your partner's name and a short version of their credentials, like Officer Michael Jones, who is my partner and has been a Connecticut certified police officer for 5 years with the Goodwin University Police Department. The third paragraph is the initial inspection. On the date and time, I was dispatched to the area of 1 Riverside Drive, East Hartford, Connecticut, on a complaint of a criminal mischief in the 3rd degree. fourth paragraph is the ownership. On May 27, 2003, the owner of Goodwin University came to me and stated that this is what happened and this is how I'm the owner. And there's some kind of information that proves that this person is the owner of Goodwin University. The fifth paragraph is the abatement order. On the date and time of the abatement order, a Connecticut State Fire Safety Code abatement order with the compliance time of whatever the given time frame was sent to the owner of record. This abatement order is a little bit beyond a basic arrest warrant affidavit, but it's been included, so we're with this PowerPoint, so we're including it here. But for the most part, you will not be using this. So the sixth paragraph, it says this portion of the affidavit can include work done by the owner, contact made with the owner, extensions of time requested. This is basically your narrative continuation, or where you would put information about witness statements or where physical evidence. I took pictures. These pictures were entered into the case file through the Goodwin University RMS system. And again, seventh paragraph would be continuation of the narrative. And then possibly violations, or it would explain how these fell into criminal statutes. This gets a little more specific because it's working kind of with the fire code portion, but this would be where you talk about the probable cause for the criminal statutes that you have listed. And then there's a conclusion where a lot of times it comes into, and you will get this differently from each department, based on the above facts and circumstances. This officer believes that there is probable cause to arrest the accused for the crimes of 53A 117, criminal mischief in the third degree, and different statutes like that. Remember that the affidavit is discoverable, so your defense attorney will look at it and try to take it apart. And it's also available through the general public. Certain things may be redacted, like victims' names in sexual assaults will not appear in an arrest warrant affidavit. They will, there is a Connecticut general statute, and there is a set phrase on how you put that in there. And the courts may wish to just take some of the things out and redact some of the stuff so that the general public can't, or the accused cannot look at it. Like if the victim in a domestic violence incident has moved, they will probably redact that information. And it is important for you to detail in your report and in your arrest warrant affidavit that this information should be redacted or has been redacted by you, kept confidential. So that is just a general overview on an arrest warrant affidavit in the state of Connecticut. We will get into a little bit more with more content here in this module. If you have any questions, contact your instructor.